Hey guys, welcome to the first of our three-part special for Muscle and Fitness Nice Body Physique. Today in this video, I'll be breaking down something that a lot of people leave until the last aspect of their training, their preparation for the stage, and that is the art of posing. You see, we spend all of this time, money, and effort training our body, preparing our food, taking our supplements. We're left with a chiseled, hard physique, but then to get on stage, or if you're doing a photo shoot, to get in front of that camera and really present your body at its best, you've got to put the time in perfecting those poses. Basically being comfortable and able to hold a pose and stay there, showing all of that muscular conditioning. You know, basically when you have a great workout and you look in the mirror and you get that pose, you need to be able to call that at any moment to then stand there on stage for a duration of 2, 3, 5 minutes. That takes practice and it takes conditioning the body. So today we're going to go through a routine, a practice posing routine to help you prepare and get ready for the stage. Obviously we need to see the physique, so the Muscle and Fitness t-shirt comes off. Now refer back to the ebook where we talk about tan, shaving, attire, clothing. Obviously, these aren't board shorts, the kind of shorts that you would wear during posing, and I'm wearing trainers. But this will give you an idea of how you need to present yourself on stage. There's a couple of no-nos that I would cover first, and that is, this is not a bodybuilding show. If you are doing a bodybuilding show, wrong ebook, skip over to that one. This is physique. So bodybuilding and physique, the main differences are bodybuilding, you get judged for muscle fullness, density, proportion. You know, the bodybuilders stand there showing all of their muscles, and we go through what's called the compulsories, where they show 8 or 9 different key poses as they turn their physique around. Men's physique, some say, have it a little easier. We don't have to go through all of those compulsory poses. We have to do what's called quarter turns, meaning we stand on stage and we turn to the quarter. Sounds pretty easy, huh? And get this, the poses are called front relaxed, side, back, and then front relaxed. But let me tell you this, they're anything but relaxed. Doesn't mean you need to pose every muscle group. I'll give you a demonstration now and go through these quarter turns and show you everything that the judges are looking for. And then we can start to break down the criteria to make sure that you have everything in check for when you step up on stage. So first, front relaxed posed. Do a quarter turn to the side, you turn, head judge would call out quarter turn to the side or turn to face the back, so we turn, and again a quarter turn to the side, and then to the front. There's a few different variations there. One, we can make use of the arms, whether you have the hands open, depending on which organization. Some people have their fingers open, their whole hands open, or a closed fist, but they're not squeezing their fist too hard. Secondly, we can bring our arm up, which is kind of, we take the thumb, roll it around the lower back, little finger up, and that helps us flare all of the muscles in the forearm, the bicep and the delts, while accentuating the obliques and the abdominal, basically framing this section. But this is where we start to cross that line of physique and bodybuilding. You see, if we bring both arms like that, we're now into a front lat spread, spreading the lat muscles and kind of taking the emphasis away from the physique and focusing more on a bodybuilding compulsory pose. My best example of this is, have a look at the magazine covers. Obviously, Muscle and Fitness, have a look inside, any advertorials inside. If you see how a model is stood, it's often much more relaxed. Hips might be shifted over to one leg, abdominals, keep them tight at all times. And by keeping them tight, I don't just mean pull them in, I mean really force and squeeze them in. You probably heard me exhale deeply. That squeezes the abs. You need to learn to be able to hold that even when the face and the rest of the body isn't strained. Also, look at my upper body. I'm not squeezing everything. When you squeeze the pectoral, you squeeze across the muscles and it causes a crease. We're not bodybuilding here. So for the most part, keep the shoulders relaxed, keep the chest relaxed, squeeze the arms, squeeze the abs, and you're halfway there. Whether you want to bring one arm up, open the hand, close it, this is more of a personal preference, and the only way that you can get used to this is practice, 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 and then practice some more. Whether you stand in front of a mirror, have a friend video camera you, or take some pictures, do whatever you need to do to be able to get comfortable with your physique so that when you hold that pose on stage, you don't have to constantly check and look down, because when you do that, you take your focus away from off stage and it looks like you're not comfortable on there. You need to physically check your conditioning to make sure everything is on cue. You should be able to walk out with confidence and show that effortless style that straight away you can get into that pose and focus on smiling and looking like you're actually enjoying it. What a concept, hey? Let's move around to that quarter turn. So from here, think about this, your transition. We're not simply going from a pose, dropping everything, turning, and then pulling up that second pose. This needs to be smooth, fluid. So from a front relaxed, which like I said, anything but relaxed, but the abdominals and arms are tight, and also keep the calves. You know, if they're stood relaxed, to then going flared, basically pushing my little toe outwards will help flare the calves, helps give that balance to the physique. So abdominals tight, we're gonna keep the head up, we're gonna look like we're having fun, smiling. From here, we're gonna flow round. So keeping this pose, arm, and this is my style, I'll bring my arm up, pull it round, and kind of twist into that pose, still keeping the abs tight. Again, some people prefer legs together, like so. Personal preference, or perhaps that particular organization, one leg back or one heel up. This is something that you need to pay attention to based on previous competitions. So let's have a look back. Squeeze that calf. We're going to push that heel down, lift the chest up, squeeze the abdominals, exhale, which will really show the obliques, tighten the tricep, and then bring this arm round just a few inches away from our waist. We're not holding it out, straight out. It's bent to show that bicep. Squeeze the chest and stand up tall. Nice and tight. Same process to turn around to the back. Swing the arms, and again, this is a personal preference. We can stand with both arms, I say relaxed, but anything but. Shoulder blades squeeze back, and exhale, notice the lower back. Tightens up. Now again, I keep saying this is not a bodybuilding show. The reason I say that is because bodybuilders will typically stand there and really spread the back. Or they'll do a rear double biceps. Physique, we don't show that. We literally stand there and it's the same pose, front as it is to the back. Preference might be an arm up on the side, head to the profile, maybe even a cheeky arm up and flare that bicep. This is something that the style starts to come in. If you're comfortable with the basic compulsory poses, front relaxed, quarter turn, and so on, start to make it your own. What makes you stand out on stage? You've already got the great body, you've worked for months, if not years, at developing that muscularity, the conditioning, the definition. Your tan is great, your board shorts, everything is great. How do you stand out on stage? Stage presence. Your personality needs to shine through. And simply just standing there like so and going through your quarter turns may not be enough to differentiate you from all of the other competitors. So add a little bit of flair. If this means going through a transition, making it more of your own style, do that. Make eye contact with the judges. Smile at them. Also, bear in mind that there's often 5 or 7 judges sat lower down and spread out. If you're still in one spot all of the time, are the judges at the end really going to be able to fully appreciate and see your physique? Maybe not, so keep that in mind. Lean in a little bit. Let them see your physique because they're often looking up at you. Also, when the head judge calls out your quarter turn, don't be so quick to turn. Make sure all of the judges have seen you. I'm not saying be the last one to turn, but if everyone else turns and you know that judge hasn't seen you, make sure they see you before you turn. So, really the key points here are to get used to your physique. Start by posing in front of the mirror to make sure your hips aren't too pushed out. Make sure that your body muscle groups are all squeezed and tensed without it showing in your face. Also, this is not a bodybuilding show, so don't do bodybuilding poses. We don't need to do a front double bicep. We don't need to do a side tricep and chest pose. However, if you have great arms, great abs, show these off. Just because you're doing a front relaxed doesn't mean you can throw up an ab pose or a kind of one of the classic poses from the bodybuilders of yesteryear. Experiment, play around with a few different poses, find what I call your signature pose. I mentioned in the ebook about the walkout, and you actually start getting scored as soon as you walk out onto the stage and you hold what I call a signature pose. This is your go-to pose. You'll know if you've had photo shoots before, you've been doing a few competitions, that you always find a pose that is more comfortable for you. For me, it's more of a quarter turn, back heel up, rotate the hips, therefore the obliques come in. I open out my chest, I show the arm, somewhat relaxed, but it's more of a 3/4 turn, as opposed to a square arm or just to the side. Play around with these. We can still do the front relaxed, but then we can shift into more of a relaxed pose. It just gives the judges something else to look at and to score. Plus, when you're stood at the back of the stage, keep the muscles tensed. Just because you had your turn at the front of the stage and then you get asked to stand to the back while new competitors come on stage, don't stand there and then let everything relax, or stand there like this, or let that smile go. How you pose at the front of the stage needs to continue when you're stood at the back, and this is what takes the time to practice that, so that you're not stood there muscles shaking because you haven't practiced enough, you haven't conditioned the muscles to stay tensed. It's going to be hot, you're going to be water depleted. This is a real tough job, so practice. I would say the last 2 to 3 weeks, spend at least 15-20 minutes every other day practicing your poses. Get it down to a fine art so that as soon as you walk out on stage, it's just your go-to. You walk out, you pose, you can stand there for a length of time, and you know exactly what you have to do. And this can be critical in helping you keep some of those points, even against those who have better physiques. Anyway, hopefully those tips have helped you understand that it's not just about the physique. It's about much, much more. It's about the marketability, your stage presence, just how you present yourself, your personality on stage. And if you can practice that along with the training, the diet, supplementation, and the rest and recovery, this will all help your chances of scoring higher in the physique category. All right guys, so there we have it. Join me for the next 2 Muscle and Fitness Nice Body series when I'll be discussing about the physique, specifically the conditioning of the peak week, final exercises that you do during that week to help enhance the conditioning and develop that hardness in the muscle, and also abdominal training and what you need to be aware of in how to develop the lower abdominals, side obliques, and the upper and midsection. See you guys then.